Are you a college student?
Are you broke?
Do you need a job? Well, we can fix that.
Welcome to Educashional, a podcast for college students by college students about the basics of finance and how to survive in a world where money controls our lives.
We are your hosts, Jason and Andrew. Today we will be talking about student employment and how it can provide work experience and a way for students to make money.
Personally, we don't have much work experience and thus wanted to learn more about student employment and explore the job opportunities within our own college.
Specifically, we wanted to discover how students can balance academics along with working a part-time job. To find out more about this topic, we use the vast resources available to us.
By the end of this episode, you'll be informed about all the necessary steps to find a job.
So let's get into it.
So, let's say you're out shopping with some friends, but you don't have any money. What's the solution? Get a job. So, how does getting a job at school work?
According to FAFSA.com, the Federal Work Study is a federal student aid program that provides part-time employment while the student is enrolled in school. The student must seek out and apply for work-study jobs at his or her school. The student will be paid directly for the hours he or she works and the amount he or she earns.
So, how much could you earn?
Students can earn at least the current federal minimum wage. However, they may earn more depending on the type of work that they do and the skills required for their position.
Is there a limit to how much you can work?
Yes, since this job is a part-time job, you can only work a certain amount of hours set by the employer. Here at PCC, students can only work a maximum of 19 hours per week.
Interesting that you bring up PCC. How can I find a job here?
To work for PCC, you need to have been awarded a federal work study by FAFSA. It is your responsibility to find a job whether it's on or off campus. On-campus jobs involve working for a variety of PCC offices and departments. Examples of these include working for the Shatford Library, the Engineering and Technology Department, or the Office of Admissions and Records. The Career Center is a great resource to help you find one of these coveted jobs. I've noticed students are hesitant to look for jobs since they fear that it could hurt their academic standing, but we have done the research to find out how work can be a benefit to college students. Earlier, I mentioned that students are skeptical to get a job. But why is this? And what are some of the possible effects of employment on student performance?
A study using data from the High School and Beyond survey examined the effects of employment on grade point averages, dropout rate, and post-college wages and employment rates of 4,068 college students. While working students were more likely to drop out than non-working students, they also did better in the labor market if they do graduate.
Well, what kind of tasks or jobs can a student expect to find here at PCC?
I'm glad you asked. Some possible jobs include working in the library, career center, and possibly the engineering and technology department as well.
Is it hard to get a job? For example, is the job interview scary for students?
Applying for a job on campus is not hard. However, interviews may vary in length and difficulty of questions might differ depending on what type of job a student is applying for. Employers obviously want the best employees for the job, so they will pick according to what fits their needs.
Is work study flexible? For example, does it fit your time schedule and needs?
Of course, most schools are understanding and realize that you are a student. Schools know that you are a student first and are willing to work with your schedule. In fact, some schools even let students work reduced hours around midterm or final season. Now, Andrew, I got some questions that you might be able to help me answer about student employment. First off, what is one benefit that you think student employment provides?
Well, Jason, I really believe that student employment is all about networking. You know the saying, it's all about who you know. Well, I really believe that this is true in today's job hunting society. Having professional connections can really open up even more job opportunities for yourself in the future.
Interesting. Any other advantages that come with student employment?
Not only does student employment offer networking connections, but you can also work off your student debt. Putting away even $20 a month can help offset student loans or pay tuition.
Now, you mentioned there was a limit to how much a student can work. Is there a reason why students can only work 19 hours a week?
Yes. Studies from the Bureau of Labor Statistics have shown that undergraduate students who work part time in college, up to 20 hours per week, have higher GPAs than students who don't work at all. You'll learn how to use the time you have to study efficiently and focus on what's in front of you instead of procrastinating and putting off work. However, working more than 20 hours a week can have an opposite effect as stress increases and work cuts into your school time.
Wow, I'm pretty convinced. Give me some reasons to apply to a school job.
Obviously, there are many advantages to having a school job besides the pay. For one, having a job in college is a great way to boost your resume and get ahead of the competition. Having a job shows employers that you have real world experience, and that's something you'll need to get a job even after graduation. Plus, you've demonstrated you're driven and have a strong work ethic by working and going to school at the same time. Another thing all employers want in their employees. And as I mentioned before, your work at school could open up some huge opportunities for you in life.
Cool. And now for some advice from our interviewees.
First, we have Juan Flores, a current PCC student with an on campus job.
My name is Juan Flores. This is my third year at PCC, and I'm majoring in animal science.
Okay. Where do you work on campus?
At PCC campus, I work in the Pathway Center. I'm a tutor for stats.
And how did you get the job?
So I got this job here because I came here for tutoring a lot when I was struggling with my stats class and other math class I was taking, and I came here and the tutors were tutoring me and helping me understand the material. And it was one day when there was no stats tutor, and this girl came asking for help for stats, and I decided to help her. I stopped what I was doing and I tutored her for stats, and she really liked it, and she came and told the person who was sitting in the front of the Pathway Center that I was a great stats tutor, and they told me if I wanted to tutor here for stats.
Do you have struggles with schoolwork and your normal work?
I do have struggles with schoolwork and my work here because with schoolwork, since my major is STEM, I have a lot of science classes I'm taking, and I don't really have a lot of time to study for the exams or the quizzes. And with work, since I work the days that I'm free, I have to take some of my time to study for my courses, so to pass the courses.
What do you think are the benefits of working in Pathways?
The benefits of working in Pathways is that you get to meet a lot of people here that help you really a lot. If you're going to either transfer to Cal State or UC, they help you to fill out your college application. We have transfer people that work here in the center that help you and give you recommendations where you want to transfer for your, if it's either the major, the best major that they have there at the school you want to go to, or if you just want to go to that school just because you liked it.
And what are the benefits of working at PCC?
The benefits of working at PCC is that they help you out a lot because you meet new people that show you how college is about. It's not just about study and work, and this is all about that. It shows you the responsibility and how you can become like a greater person in you by helping people out. They also help you if you're going to transfer, as I said before, to college or university. The people that work here at PCC, they help you do your recommendation letters so you can transfer.
Now we hear from Aryan Nazarian, Vice President of Business Affairs at PCC.
My name is Aryan Nazarian. I'm the Vice President for Business Affairs and Associated Students.
What do you know about student employment at PCC?
I do know there's student worker programs where you can, let's say, work at the library or bookstore, and this is typically if you have financial aid. Otherwise, if you were to hold a position on AS, for example, that's technically being employed. If you were to work, say, in the lab hours or be a tutor, I think you'd technically also be a student employee.
Right. All right, so I'm going to move away from student employment and focus more about what you do personally. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so as a member of Associate Students, can you tell me what the interview process is like? For example, is it similar to perhaps like a job interview?
I'd say it's depending on the position. but yeah, because it is a professional setting, it's quite similar. There's still a resume. There's an application process. We have set interview questions, and we usually tailor it to the position, and we try to refresh them every cycle.
Yeah.
You meet with them, and depending on the position, you'll have a presentation or certain extra thing that you have to do.
Okay. As Vice President of Business Affairs, what kinds of tasks do you personally do? For example, how does your work affect students?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing or the most important thing that I do that maybe isn't stated but it's implied is knowing the most about where the money is going, more than anyone else, so that I can tell everybody else and that they can know more.
Yeah.
Because I do handle all the requisitions that come in. I handle all the budgeting that goes on for AS and the clubs. But although it's not really required of the position, I do think it's important for whoever's sitting in this seat to join as many of the standing committees that have to do with budgeting or expenditures, or even the facility standing committee, or the sustainability ones, or the strategic planning ones, or the ones where the bigger master plans for the school are presented at, because then you kind of understand what the money's going towards, and also you get a sense of what's practical and what's needed, what's wanted, and what, you know, what they've done in the past that hasn't gone so well.
For sure. As chair for the finance committee, how important would you say finance and budgeting is?
I mean, if I said anything less than extremely important, I think people would ask why I'm in that position. If you're in a like a professional setting and it's not your personal budget, I think budgets are essential, 100%. And was there two parts to that? It was budgeting and
finance.
And just finance in general. Well, really for everything, I think finance is important, just because money is usually the cost of those things. The other one being time, and usually they're deeply intertwined.
Yeah.
I think if it's personal finances, maybe you don't have to be as strict with it. But I think definitely having a mental tally of what's happening. The reason I like credit cards is because there's that limit. You can set an internal limit beyond. Let's say your limit is $1,500. Say, okay, you know what? Every time it reaches $400, I'm gonna pay it off. If my paycheck is like, let's say $600 every 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to log every expenditure, but there are easy ways of keeping yourself in track. And if you're a business, the only reason I think you need to be particular is because there's the government that will check up on you.
Yeah.
And I think you have a responsibility to your customers and your employees and your superiors to have clarity all throughout. And I think as long as you have information, you have some level of power if anything goes wrong.
Overall, we believe that student employment is beneficial.
In short, money provides us a way to exchange goods and services and allows us to become more productive as a whole.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoy more messages from our fellow classmates.
Educashional is a production by College One students at Pasadena City College.